If you've been watching The Last Dance on Netflix, and let's be honest, who hasn't exhausted all their streaming options by now, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those psychopaths who've been filling their time with homemade banana bread, walks to the local park, and reading Normal People, here's a synopsis. Man works himself into a perpetual rage in order to become the best in the world at throwing a ball through a hoop. Now, how to link a documentary about Michael Jordan's all-star basketball career to football? There are obvious parallels with Roy Keane. Where Jordan was part of the most successful basketball dynasties of the 90s in the Chicago Bulls, Keane was part of the 90s most dominant football side in Man United. Both consistently fell out with management, with Jordan consistently going to war with the Chicago Bulls general manager Jerry Krause, and Keane walking out of Ireland's 2002 World Cup camp after a fight with manager Mick McCarthy. And while both were serial winners, finding gushing character appraisals from teammates would be as hard for Keane as it would be for Jordan. But Keane didn't have Jordan's panache and flair on or off the pitch, so the comparisons fall short. Just think, you'd never catch him dead in a pair of high top Air Jordans. Then, there are the comparisons with Lionel Messi, given both arguably became bigger than the team they actually represented. Would Chicago Bulls be recognizable as a brand worldwide if it weren't for Jordan? No. Would Barcelona's name carry the same weight with younger generations if it weren't for Messi? No. Now, it's also tempting to bring in Scottie Pippen and Ronaldinho as the sidekicks who, despite immense talent, had to come to terms with living in the shadows of greatness. But Jordan played for Mescun Club, rendering any comparison with Messi invalid. Onwards and upwards. David Beckham wore the number 23 at Real Madrid because of his love of Jordan, and he ended his career at PSG, so how about putting him in the PSG and Jordan kit? Bit niche. When all else fails, make it up. If that means re-imaging Michael Jordan's career as if he was a footballer, then so be it. Who could forget Jordan's early years at North Carolina Walls End Boys Club? The Northeast was abuzz with whispers about a generational talent from the moment Jordan laced up his first pair of non-branded football boots at Walls End Boys Club in 1981. After only 3 years, he was picked up by Chicago Bulls, Newcastle United, making the transition from amateur to professional. Although success wasn't immediately forthcoming, Newcastle's core of Jordan, Lee Clark, Steve Howie and Gavin Peacock had fans dreaming that the club's previous dormant period was about to be ended. In 1991, Jordan won the first of the league title of his career. A second followed in 1992, before a breathtaking partnership with Andy Cole fired Newcastle to a historic three-peat in 1993. But at the peak of his powers and with Newcastle fans gearing up for an unprecedented period of success, Jordan shocked the world by retiring from football to pursue a career not in baseball but with cricket, with Chicago White Sox. Durham. Despite no previous professional cricketeering career to fall back on, the initial signs were promising. Jordan impressed with a resolute 130 points against the Lancashire Second Zai, featuring the much vaunted Neville brothers, taking Gary for 27 off 1 over before a quick young chap by the name of Andrew Flintoff cleaned up the tail. However, with first Zai chances of Durham not forthcoming, Jordan grew restless. On the 18th of March 1995, a 2-word press release simply stated, "Why aye man," announced Jordan's return to Newcastle. Once the hysteria died down, there was football to be played. Jordan returned to a healthier squad than the one he'd left behind in 1993, with new blood in David Ginola, Les Ferdinand, and the temperamental genius of Dennis Rodman, Faustio Asprilla, taking Newcastle to within an inch of the title, only to fall apart at the final hurdle. But that only served to fire Jordan up, and the following season his partnership with Alan Shearer took the club to new heights. With Sheeran and Jordan in tandem, Newcastle were unstoppable. The Magpies completed another three-peat by winning the title in 96, 97 and 98, with Jordan securing his status as the undisputed GOAT, or greatest of all time. Having completed a three-peat and with his body beginning to fail on him, Jordan called it a day once more in 1999 after losing the title on the final day of the season. But, this being Jordan, he couldn't resist one last dance with Harry Redknapp, who called in 2001 to ask if he fancied helping keep Portsmouth in the First Division. Jordan took Redknapp up on his promise, forming a bizarrely effective partnership with Peter Crouch in attack, aided by the guile of Robert Prosinecki, and as a result, Portsmouth comfortably avoided relegation. Better was to come the following season when Jordan helped Portsmouth earn promotion to the Premier League, playing some of the best football of his career along with a veteran core of Paul Merson, Tim Sherwood, Shaka Hislop and Steve Stone. When Jordan retired for a third time on the 16th of April 2003, it was final. Football hasn't been the same since.